Oh yeah, oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome to another Model Monday Live. The single greatest live stream in the history of CAD vs. CAD competition. How is everybody doing? How's everything sounding? I'm on while my AP Physics students are taking a test. Nice. Yes, excellent use of your student test-taking time. I love it. Jocko is here in the chat, says, let's go. Yes. Let's see if we can get that chat to show up proper. Got that survey in there. That's what's taking up all the room. Let's finish the survey. Surfaces. 70% for the surfaces. We're going to end the poll right there. Surfaces are the winner. Congratulations to surfaces. That is correct. Surfaces are correct. Surfaces are, which is better? Surfaces. Boom. No context, no situation, just surfaces. Let's make sure this is showing live. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Pico Boo. Thanks for joining us. Welcome, Aaron C. Hello, hello, hello. How are you, my friend? Jim Yu is here. Hello, hello. Welcome, Will. Welcome, PC Arduino. Welcome, Paragene. Great to see you. Rambros Workshop, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, is here. Kim Begston, his son, is here. Welcome, welcome. Rich Penn is here. Hello, hello, from just west of DFW. And Jocko is here. Mesa Makes is here. What's up, my friend? Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. And FPV Kev is here. And which is better? Surfaces, of course, with 69%. You gotta love those numbers. Congratulations, congratulations. Welcome. GG Surfaces. Yes, exactly. GG Surfaces, indeed. Ate is here. Says hello, everyone. Hello, Ate. Thank you for reminding me this morning about getting the live stream link out there. We're looking very cinematic here. I like this. I have a LUT on this camera. I'm getting this camera dialed in. One of these days we'll get it dialed in. We might go a little bit lighter here. Surfaces, 24 votes, including me. Bit late. Yes, nice. Mr. Fancy Pants is here. Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants, the high school champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. That is awesome as well. All right, guys, let's get into it. We all know what we're here for. Mr. Fancy Pants is here. He's getting recognition as the high school champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. Today is Monday, February 3rd, and thank you all so much for joining me in this live stream where we're going to do some CAD modeling practice. And we're going to do 2 CAD speed modeling challenges. We're going to have some TooTallToby updates. We're going to do a live solve using SolidWorks. I haven't done a SolidWorks live solve in a while, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And of course, we're going to hang out with the best chat ever. Let me know, as always, if the audio sounds good, if anything's too loud, too quiet, or if it's all spot on. That feedback is always very much appreciated. I want to say thank you, of course. Thank you to the subscribers, to the super thanks, to the joiners, to the likers, to the tutorial makers, to the super chatters, to the people who do value for value, to the Practice Models Premium members, to the students, to the sharers, to the commentators, and of course, to the Discord crew. Thank you all so much. We could not have this channel without all of you. If you want to do super thanks or super chat, it is live right now. Super chat is down below the current chat window, but there are several other ways you can support the channel, which we will continue to talk about as the live stream continues. J-Mac is in the chat. 140 models. J-Mac, well done, my friend. 140 practice models challenges. Today during the live solve, we're going to solve this model here. It comes from the tournament that we concluded last week, the standoff using SolidWorks. I'll show you guys some tips and tricks in SolidWorks on the most efficient way to model this part. So we'll take a look at that. And of course, to support the channel, like and subscribe, share and reshare. The easiest way to support the channel is just to hit that like button. Let's see what we're doing for likes here over on our monitoring system. Professional monitoring system. Already up to 15. I love it. Thank you guys so much. Keep hitting that like button. Pico Boo says, once I finish the free practice models, I will move on to premium. Awesome. That is exactly the right way to do it, Pico Boo. You go, you take your time, you go at your own speed. That's why we try to set up those free models for everybody so everybody can get in there, try it out a little bit. And then if you get finished with all those and you're ready for more, we have plenty more models in there for everyone, including a really cool one we added last night. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. That's all right. The speed will come. Says, my speed is slow. That's all right. The speed will come with practice. That's what it's all about. All right, guys, today I'm going to challenge you to turn a 2D drawing into a 3D model and calculate the mass and then enter that mass directly in the YouTube chat. And the basic rules are that you can use any 3D CAD package as long as you can input density and output mass. We even have some users who just use a calculator, and that's fine too. Got a TI-86? It's fine. You can rock it. FPV Kev, yo, coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much. $5 euro. $5 euro dollars. €5. Thank you, FPV Kev. Very much appreciate it. Let's get this super chat train rolling. Thank you, my friend. That is awesome. Very much appreciate it. Guys, don't forget, in these challenges, you got to use the specified precision, and the first correct answer in the chat will be declared the winner. We can see here that this is going to be using IPS or MMGS, and the materials are plain carbon steel, 1060 aluminum alloy, ABS, and red oak. And the densities are listed here on the side. So if you haven't been here before, if this is your first time joining us in Model Monday Live, welcome, and make sure that you understand what densities to use for these challenges. FPV Cat says 5 pounds. 5 pounds, of course. 5 pounds sterling. Wow, I see your 5 and raise you 6. Wow. Aaron C, thank you. Very much appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, super chat is enabled today, and we very much appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for that support. Keeping this dream alive. Keeping the dream of TooTallToby and competitive Model Monday Live alive. All right, guys, the advanced rules are this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I will make mistakes, and the Ivan exploit is permitted. If you're not familiar with the Ivan exploit, basically what it means is that if you've got a plate like this, and the plate has uniform wall thickness, and the holes are defined as being in these 4 corners with dimensions, well, if you wanted to, in theory, you could just put all 4 holes right here, because you're removing the same amount of mass. So that's the Ivan exploit. Now, it's up to you if you want to take that shortcut. I personally don't take that shortcut, but you certainly could. There's nothing I can do to stop you because I'm only looking for the mass of these models. So just keep that in mind as we're going through these challenges, and let's get into it here. Bonjour. I think that's what that says. Welcome, Walad T. All right, here we go, guys. This first 3D CAD challenge for all of you. Everyone in the chat can compete here. As soon as you see the drawing, take a screen capture so that you can start modeling it. This first challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? The tolerance is plus or minus 0.01 pounds, and this model is called MESA Makes. 250215 MESA Makes. It's IPS plain carbon steel, and look at these dimensions. Corey, I know you're gonna love these dimensions. Everything is in fractions. That's what we like to see in the world of MESA Makes. This is what we're used to. So good luck to everybody with these fractional dimensions. Putting together this, I don't know what is axle support. Corey sent me this. MESA Makes sent me a very similar model to this to use as inspiration. So right back at you, my friend, and good luck with this challenge. The MESA Makes challenge, the official challenge for MESA Makes. A member of the TooTallToby YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the support. We're still getting over a little head cold here, guys, so if I sound a little stuffy, don't adjust your speakers. It's just me. All right, guys. I hope that's enough time for you to grab a screen capture. Jim Yu coming through with NOK 70. Let's go. Thank you, Jim Yu. Very much appreciate that. That is awesome. Thank you for the support. Jim Yu, knock 70. Let's go. Let's go. We love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes. Send hearts. We love it. Thank you, Jim Yu. Very much appreciate it. All right, guys, I hope that was enough time for you to grab a screen capture of this print and begin modeling. Your question, your challenge is, what is the mass of this model in x.xx pounds? Aaron C. already coming in with an answer. Guys, he's one of the fastest in the world. Is it correct or not? We don't know. We're not going to say. We're not going to tell you if it's correct until about the 30-minute mark of this live stream. Norwegian Crone. Yo, nice. Love it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Jim Yu. Very much appreciate it. Jim Yu, of course, is famous for always being able to accurately predict the Wheel of Fate in the tournaments. FPV Kev says, wow, I'm still trying to decide where to put the origin. Aaron C is coming through with an answer. Well, remember, FPV Kev, when you have a model that has symmetry in two directions, the origin is almost certainly going to be at the intersection of that symmetry, because that's going to set you up for doing midlines and mirrors and things like that. So I would say definitely right here would be a good spot for the origin on this thing. The origin's always going to be at the intersection. If you got multiple lines of symmetry, it's just so much easier. For example, if you have a tool like a center point rectangle, well, you could use that center point rectangle to create this shape. Let me think I forget what the shortcut key is for rectangle. Is it these two? Okay. So you could use that center point rectangle to create this shape. So that could be your first sketch. But you could also use a center point rectangle to create this shape to lay out the location of those holes. So you could not only use center point rectangle for the obvious base plate, but you could use it in a lot of other spots when when you've got the model completely centered and you get down to create this shape here. You could create this shape here using a center point rectangle as well, and maybe create it like this kind of ribby shape. You could create it like that, extrude it the length of the part, so that means it would extrude this whole length here. Could extrude that whole length there, and then so it would give you like this shape here. You'd extrude it that whole length there, and then you could go back in with a cut extrude and you could cut out this circular shape, and then you could add in this shape here, or you could do like a half circle to add in that shape there. So whenever the model is centered, you're going to be able to drop that circle right on that center line. Whenever the model's centered, that should help you figure out where the origin should be. So I'd say right down here, right at the bottom of the part, and right down here. I know you were probably just joking, but I'm sure there's other people out there that do, that are still getting used to practicing that. And that's really the first step every time, is trying to figure out where the origin should be. Pico Boo says, same, LOL, yeah. Okay, cool, good. I like this. Look at this variance in the answers. Aaron C, 5.64. Aaron C revising, 5.47. Then Rambros Workshop, the world champion, coming in 5.488 or 5.49. Gray coming in 5.47. Hello, Gray. Long time no see. Always good to see you here in Model Monday Live. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share and reshare. Let's get into some news about the world of TooTallToby. If you want to join the party, one way you could do it is you could go to TooTallToby.com and choose /practice and then sign up for our Practice Models Premium. You could join the YouTube channel, or you could take training with Toby. These are all great ways to support the channel. Dom Linder in the chat. Hello, my friend. Zach is here, says hello. Hello, Zach. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us on this very cinematic episode of TooTallToby's Model Monday Live. Thought I could put fractions into Onshape, but I couldn't get it to work. It's going to be plus. You're going to do plus to get those to work. So like this one here, 3. What you're going to type is 3 plus 1/2. If you do that, then it'll work. 3 plus 1/2. This one down here, the 3/8, you just type 3/8. 3/8. But for this one, you do plus. If you're working in SolidWorks, then this one would be 3 space 1/2. So in SolidWorks, you can do fractions with a space. In Onshape, you do it with a plus, and it just makes it a little equation. Oh yeah, no problem. Vlad says, I know he says bravo there, and something about speed. That's what I like. All right, guys, some news. Let's talk about news. FreeCAD wasn't happy about the fraction, says Noob King. Yeah. Yep, I could see that. Maybe there's a macro for it. FreeCAD seems to have a lot of good macros to help get through these kind of fringe scenarios. Congratulations, Mr. Fancy Pants. He's in the chat. He's currently the 2025 champion of our high school series, our very first CAD vs. CAD tournament featuring all high school students. We are looking to have more of these throughout the year. So if you go to a high school, or if you teach at a high school or anything like that, please feel free to sign up. You can contact Vicky at TooTallToby.com. And let's give a quick shout out to the instructor of that class, MESA Makes, coming in with some super chat. Thank you, Corey. Says, love Model Monday, but got to go back to teaching. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Wait, did Corey do 2 at 10? No, he's just getting double credit up top here. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciated. That is awesome. We love you, Corey. We love all the instructors out there. And thank you so much for helping organize that tournament. It was so much fun. Congratulations, Mr. Fancy Pants. Congratulations to all the runners. All the runners were amazing throughout that tournament. And it was Mr. Fancy Pants who took it down. But what we did was we set up all the runners with a seat of Practice Models Premium. Practice Models Premium for all the runners. So everybody who's in the tournament got a full year subscription to Practice Models Premium. And last night we released our first ever two-part Practice Models Challenge. 2 different drawings that you can model up, and then once you're done modeling them, you can actually 3D print them. You can see I've got a red one here with a black case, and I've got a red one with a red lid with a white case. And you can see that what this is a little case for guitar picks. It's a case that's designed for guitar picks. It's got this little kind of ramp up section here, which is pretty cool. It makes it really easy to do one-handed operation, so you can just slide the picks right out of the case there. But the cool thing about this is that this is actually dedicated to Smiley, who plays electric guitar. So this is a dedicated custom model just for Smiley. And each month, I'm going to do another practice model for each of the competitors based on what we learned about them throughout the tournament. So over the next 8 months, each month, we're going to do a Practice Models Premium just for one of our competitors, or a special practice model just for one of our competitors. For, being they're high school students, they were really brave to put themselves out there to, using Onshape and doing 3D CAD and kind of putting themselves out there in front of everybody. And so we want to make sure we recognize those students and their teacher, MESA Makes, Corey Mesa, who was here with us today in the chat just a few minutes ago. Check out that model if you haven't checked it out yet. I know there's been like 10 people who have done it already, and it's really cool. And if you print it, please go into the Discord and drop an image of what colors you used, because I think it'll be really cool to see what colors people use. And I have one of these right here, actually. This guy here, the black one. You can see there's a pick in there, pick floating around in there. So what's nice is that it's got these little bumps on it. You can see that bump at the top there. So what that bump does is when this is closed, it doesn't slide open, stays nice and closed in your pocket. And then there's a second bump on the lid here that stops it from opening any further than a certain point. And so that's kind of a nice design. You can just slide it open, get your picks out, and then slide it back closed, and then those picks don't fall out while you're at the gig, or while you're traveling to the gig, or coming home from the gig. You don't want to lose those picks. It's always nice to have a nice container. We did some stuff with rounding off a lot of the corners so it fits into your pocket, and a good time for sure. All right, good day, everyone. Robin is here. What's up, Robin? Welcome. PC Arduino says the HSH tourney was so fun to watch. Kudos to all the kids and to Mr. Mesa. Yeah, that was awesome. All right, guys, if you're a SolidWorks user and you want to learn about sheet metal, this is your chance. February 25th, 26th, 27th, we're doing a 3-day training workshop on SolidWorks sheet metal fundamentals, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. East Coast, all 3 of those days. You get a training manual, this epic training manual. You get training files. You get 3 days working with me in a web meeting. You get to ask any questions you need. You download the training files. You get a training certificate at the end of the class. You get everything you need to get up and running on the right foot when it comes to SolidWorks and sheet metal. It's a web meeting from your desk. And we're going to learn about how to 3D model sheet metal, how to do flat patterns, how to make sheet metal drawings, how to export to DXF, and much more. And if you want to sign up for that, you can hit us up at TooTallToby.com/training, or you can message Vicky directly, and she'll probably drop a link in the chat directly to that training. You can actually sign up directly on the training site as well. Victor K is here in the chat. Hello, Toby in chat. Hello, Victor K. Thanks for joining us. 2023 World Champion of 3D CAD Speed Modeling, Victor K. Aaron C says, you also have to carefully consider the tolerances of your 3D printer and be careful of overhangs and on that sliding track. Yeah, that's true. We have them at 45 degrees, Aaron C. It's a great point that you're making there. We drew them up at 45 degrees to try to make it work. We also have about, I think it's 0.3 millimeters clearance per side, and that seems to work pretty well. But you're absolutely right. It's going to depend on your printer, the tolerancing in your printer, whether or not that's going to work. So I'd love to hear that feedback from people as well as they are printing this thing. So yeah, you make a really good point there about the 3D printers. All right. Chris Wicken is here. Says, morning, TTT and friends. Hello, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you in here. Guys, also, if you're a SolidWorks user and you want to get your CSWP, there is literally no better way than to sign up for the TooTallToby training. It's online. It's you can take it anytime you want. It's about 5 hours of video. Most people finish it in a weekend. It gives you sample CSWP prep exams. You download training files. You get tips and tricks for taking the exam, making sure you take it in time. And it's all available at TooTallToby.com/training. This one is an on-demand class, so you can take it anytime, whatever time works for you. And I did start revisiting the idea of hosting the blog. The idea of this blog is, we've had this blog on the site actually for quite some time. It just really hasn't been getting much love, but we are kind of bringing it back here. We've had some updates about the tournament, as the tournament was running along. And then I just posted an update today, just kind of like a Monday morning update, some of the things that we've been doing. This is very similar to the things we covered during Model Monday Live, but if you ever wanted to go and check out the blog and kind of see what we're up to and what's coming up this week, this is a good place to go and check out what's coming up this week. I'm actually going to be a guest on a couple of podcasts this week. I'm going to be on the Next Layer podcast, a pretty big podcast in the 3D printing world. So I'm going to be a guest on a couple of podcasts this week. I don't know if they're going to be airing live or if they're going to be recorded and then aired in the future. I will get those details for all of you so that if they're live, you guys can all get in the chat and ask lots of good questions. But we got some cool stuff coming up this week, some sheet metal videos, some more practice models, all kinds of cool stuff that we're going to be adding this week. So I'll try and keep you guys up to date on that in the blog, TooTallToby.com/blog. And also in the world of practice models, we've had a lot of stuff going on with practice models. Chris Wicken says, yo, Toby, shout out to the Next Layer. Yeah, totally. We've been doing a lot of development on the website. We talked about this a little bit last week, but the scoreboard loads a lot faster now. There's more filters. There's trend lines in the analytics. The community tutorials are now working. The fastest timetable is up, but still kind of in beta. And bonus point for ACE has been resolved as well. We talked about that last week a little bit. So when it comes to the Practice Models app, you know, we of course spend a lot of time working on the Practice Models app. You get in here, you say get started. One thing that we added last week that has been a real fan favorite is you can say show filters. And then once you get into show filters, you can say only show me the free stuff. So that way you can go through and you can see what's available that's free that you still need to work on. You can also say only show me stuff that I haven't completed. So now you can see these are the ones that are free that I haven't done yet. So I'm able to kind of go through that list and I'm able to get that stuff done quickly. Jim Yu in the chat says, really like the community tutorials feature. So if I click here to practice on the book stand, so click here to practice. So I'm trying to go through, I'm trying to do this tablet stand. I can't seem to get through it. Well, check us out. We've got Victor K in here. He's done a tutorial on this. Actually, it looks like this one's for a different model. This is for the light mount. We're still working out the details on this. But the point is that sometimes what you'll end up finding is that inside of these challenges, there will be these practice models tutorials to help you get through. Now, we're still very much in the beginning of this process, but the idea is that we will see tutorials here from all kinds of different people using all kinds of different CAD systems doing these tutorials. So one of the ones that we've been kind of, I guess you could say kind of like using as an example here is this one here, 0110, this one here, just 240110. So you notice if I click in there where it says completed, We can see that down below here, we have got these community tutorials, and we've got one from Libre. We've got one from SolidWorks. We've got one from Onshape. So you can see we've got these different, one from Iron CAD down here. So we've got these different tutorials from different CAD systems. Now, you'll notice that some of the users have their name shown here in blue, name in blue, almost like a verified check mark. So the way that you get that is you take this text string and you just copy this text string here into the description of the YouTube video. And that makes it easier for our API to go out and scrub YouTube and find that video and assign it to the correct person. So if you just take this and you copy it, you can click this and copy it as well. I think we're working on like a verification that it actually worked. If you click on it, it does copy it. It just doesn't tell you that it copied it. But it does copy it if you click inside this box here. And then you go into your YouTube description and paste it, and then your tutorial will show up in here. So if you're making tutorials, that is something awesome to look forward to. Now, if you're making speed runs, if you're trying to finish this as quick as you can, this is something else that's coming up soon. So you can see here, Rambros, our current world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, did this model in 1 minute, 50 seconds. Well, soon we're gonna have a speed modeling tutorial, a speed modeling board as well. This is a project that's coming up next. As soon as we get done with the tutorial stuff, the next thing that'll roll out will be this speed modeling board. So you'll be able to watch different people running this thing, and you'll be able to kind of compete with each other and see how fast they can go. So this is going to be a lot of fun here, doing these speed modeling runs and seeing the different expert speed modelers in our community battling it out a little bit. And that's something else that is coming here in the near future. And like I said, we resolved that issue for Ace. There's now 140 models, 140, available on the leaderboard, on the community scoreboard. So good luck to everyone. PC Arduino says, community tutorials are a smart feature. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing them get populated. And we're gonna do some stuff with those as well. We got, you guys can see it. We're just continuing to develop and adding these features. We're still gonna have the tutorial video here because, for premium models, this is almost gonna be a premium feature. The tutorial videos that I make for the premium models are only really gonna be available from this link. So that's gonna be more of like a premium offering to get into those tutorial videos. But we'll still have that's not the premium videos. Will still have the community tutorials. Toby, how do I make a tutorial? Do I have to go through slowly and explain what I'm doing, or is it just a non-speed run? Just a non-speed run will be fine. I mean, a little bit of commentary is good, but even if you don't want to talk, that's okay too. That's something else we need to really clarify to everybody, is like, what is a tutorial, what is not a tutorial. But yeah, if you go through, as long as if you're intentionally speed running it, we're gonna have a different place for that. This is a question from Aaron C. But if you're just going through and modeling it, you just want to show people how you're modeling it, I'm sure people would love to see that, especially from you, Aaron. I'm sure people would love to see kind of how you think through some of these challenges. So yeah, it doesn't have to be anything special. You don't even have to have a voiceover if you don't want to. The cool thing is, if we do have a voiceover, one of the things you'll notice about that community tutorials board is that we have recognized language, and you can sort these columns when you click on these columns. So, we may have people who start doing tutorials in other languages, and that'll be nice too for people who maybe speak a different language and want to see a tutorial. So we are really trying to keep this open to make it so that anybody who gets stuck will have an option. Yeah, you could do it in Francais. Exactly. And guys, I want to say thank you so much to Bodie McBoatpants, our amazing web dev who has continued to make all this functionality possible. But I also want to take this opportunity to introduce another member of the team who we've brought on recently, who's been helping with this development. None other than Hubi 3DFX. You guys are going to see him in the Discord asking questions. He's been in the Discord for a while, kind of lurking a little bit. But you're going to see him asking a few more questions, trying to ask questions to the Discord community as far as like what we should develop next or what types of features we'd want to see in here. But here you can see, I didn't really have a good picture of him, so I got Grok to make a picture for me. But that's actually pretty close to what he looks like. I like how he's got that extra monitor on the desk behind him. And, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe it's a mirror in some weird configuration of a mirror. So Hubi is here. Hubi 3DFX is also helping to develop this stuff. Hoobie. Yep, exactly. So don't forget, guys, check out TooTallToby.com/practice. It's got a built-in clock, tiered level of difficulty, leaderboard, track your progress, and mobile friendly. Yeah, of course. All right, and of course, check out the Discord. We get a lot of stuff done there on the Discord. That's it for now. Support the channel, hit the like button, share and reshare, and of course, take training with TooTallToby. We're gonna get into this first answer from Corey Mesa. I wanna just remind you that there is a join function on the website, on the YouTube channel, and when you join at the level of buy me a cup of coffee, you get a special custom model made in your name. And this one was for Mesa Makes, recognizing him who recently joined the channel. And you can see here that we had Rich Penn, our first joiner, Bob, Dom, Min Watex, Fully Defined, Aaron C, Victor K, PC Arduino, yup, that's me, Blue Byte Systems, Ray R, Liam P, and now Rigo R and Mesa Makes are in the mix. And each week we make a new challenge just special for these people. All right, guys, so what is the answer to this challenge? That's the question, right? What is the answer to this challenge? Exciting to see the whole channel grow. Slow and steady, but it's exciting to see this whole experiment taking off. Hashtag keep Toby unemployed. Yeah, I feel like George Costanza. I spend like 85 hours a week trying not to get a real job. That's the George Costanza methodology, right? If you guys know who George Costanza is, you get it. If not, that's okay. Aaron C coming in with an answer, 5.47. Rambros Workshop, 5.49. Gray, 5.47. Paragene, 5.47. Noob King, 5.49. I like this little slight deviation to 5.49. Design Dreamer, hello, my friend. Welcome, 5.47. Kim, 5.47. PC Arduino, 5.47. Robin, 5.40. Ishmael, 5.47. Hello, my friend. Jim Yu, 5.47. Jocko, 5.47. FPV Kev, 5.47. Metab, 5.47. Very nice, very nice. Let's see here. Do we get everybody? I think we got everybody. The correct answer is 5.47 pounds. And so the winner of the first point of February Model Monday Live is none other than Aaron C. Congratulations, my friend, and well done. 5.47 is correct. Well done, my friend. Well done, well done, well done. Look at FPV Kev. 5 pounds. Before we even released this thing, 5 pounds, he knew. He knew it was going to be 5 pounds. That's amazing. Just by looking over this thing, looking at the geometry, he guessed 5 pounds, and it was actually 5.47. That is really impressive. Well done, my friend. All right, GG to Aaron C. GG, everyone. Tricky part. Yeah, cool part. I like the symmetry. You know I love it when it's the symmetry. This one doable with a single sketch? Yeah, you probably would struggle a little bit with those holes and fillets. All right. But this next one probably is. Here we go. This next challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. This was a leftover from the tournament last week. What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? This is a tier 3 part, IPS, plain carbon steel. And what is the mass of this part? Is a pipe plate. Pipe plate. FPV would have won if the tolerance were a little bigger. Exactly. Good luck, one and all, on this pipe plate. Pipe plate. Kind of a cool model here. Some different ways to do it. Maybe we'll get you to the answer a little quicker, a little slower. Guys are in with some fierce competition. It's kind of like playing Street Fighter 2, and it's like Aaron C is playing the role of M. Bison every week. We have different challengers show up, but Aaron C just kind of fights them all off. It's really created a cool dynamic. I really like the dynamic that this season of Model Monday Live is developing. We need to give this season a name. I think it's season 6. My math is correct, but I don't really know where the seasons end and start. So it could be whatever we want, really. And that's the beauty of this channel, the fluidity. All right, I hope you guys had a chance to get a screen capture there because we are going to move on. Don't forget, if you're interested in sheet metal, take some sheet metal training with TooTallToby. It is good. It is good to know how to do sheet metal. It is good training, and it is a good time. We get to hang out for 3 days, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This training is $500. I forgot to say this earlier. $500 for this training, and it is designed so that you don't have to miss too much work, so that hopefully your supervisors or your training team or training coordinator, developmental coordinators can put up that $500 so you don't have to put it up. And then you are able to take that training with me, but not miss much work and learn some sheet metal fundamentals. We go over some really good stuff in that class. I'm really happy with how that class came out. Training with Toby, sheet metal. Love seeing these answers coming in. All right, guys, here we go. SolidWorks 3D modeling. We haven't done this in a little while. Let's do some SolidWorks here. And here we see the model. This model is called Standoff. I'm going to show you guys the most efficient way to create this model. So here you can see what the model looks like. Usually what I'll do is I'll kind of come up with a game plan, but I think today I'm just gonna take this and move it over to my second screen. So if you want to follow along with, feel free to grab a screen capture of this drawing if you want to kind of follow along with how I'm doing this. We, of course, want to think of things like where should the origin be. I think that, in the case of this model, again, we have this line of symmetry here. So we're going to want to put the origin right here. So, let's do this correct, okay? So, guys, welcome to this SolidWorks 3D modeling live solve. We're going to try to solve this model, share with you some tips and tricks, kind of the best way to model up this part using SolidWorks. And one of the first things you want to think of is where should the origin be on this model? And I think in the case of this model, I'll probably put the origin right back here, right along this lower edge, kind of down here in the corner. A lot of the dimensions seem like they're coming from that corner, so I think that makes a lot of sense. And then we want to kind of come up with a game plan. But I think instead of coming up with a game plan, we're just going to kind of jump right into it today just to make sure that we have enough time for this model. So let's move this over to our second screen. Let's bring up SolidWorks here, and we're going to move this over to our second screen. Let's bring up our keyboard cam so you guys can see all the cool shortcuts that I'm using as we go through here. And let's get into it here. So I'm going to start out by creating a new document. I'm going to use my templates. This is in plain carbon steel and MMGS. So I'm going to start out here by using my templates, MMGS. And then I think what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of layout work. So I'm going to go to the top plane, begin a sketch, and I'm going to use the midpoint line. I know you guys all love the midpoint line in SolidWorks, the midpoint line. One of my favorite things about the midpoint line is that when we go to draw that line, it doesn't actually give you the full length. So the auto dimension is pretty much useless on that thing. So I guess I'll just kind of eyeball it up here, and then I'll hit escape, and then I'll S key smart dimension, and we'll drop in a dimension here, and we'll call that 60. And there we go. There is our overall width of that part. So I think I'll rename that. I'll go over here. I'll do F2 and I'll call that layout line. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll take the front plane and then I'll hold control and I'll drag the front plane over here like so, and then drop it on that end point. And then I'll do the same thing in the other direction. So front plane, I'll grab this point over here, drag it over this way and drop it over there. So we can call that plane for front profile. And then we'll call this one here, let's see here, plane for rear profile. And then maybe we'll make one more plane here. So we'll take the right plane, hold control, and we'll go over this way, and we'll type in 92 there. And that could be something like our plane for max width. Max width. That's pretty good. Oops. Don't like that. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. And so now, it's probably pretty obvious what we're going to do here now. So we'll go to this front profile, begin a sketch, S key line, and we'll single click on this endpoint here, and then we'll create a line. We'll create this line so it goes up to 50. And that's all we really need, I think, right? Probably pretty obvious to all you guys. That's all we really need, because now we can just exit that sketch, and then we can go to our surfaces toolbar, and we can choose swept surface. So we can take that line that we sketched and we can just sweep it right along this layout line that we created. So that's kind of cool. We can just reuse that layout line for our surface sweep. So then we can hit the green check mark. And then to create the kind of lower geometry for this part, like the lower face of this part, what we would probably want to do is probably insert features, move copy. I think this probably makes the most sense, right? So we would go bodies to move copy. We'll pick this body here, and let's do this as a rotate. And we can rotate it about, let's rotate it about this lower edge of the surface here. And we'll rotate this at -90, and boom, there we go. It's just that easy. So now we've got that lower surface there, but you can tell this surface is not long enough to come out here to the max width. So we'll go to our surfacing tools here, and then we will choose to do that as an extend surface. and we'll take this edge here, and what are we going to extend it to? We're going to say up to surface, and look at that max width, adding that max width surface in there, already saving us time on creating this model, and we can hit the green check mark, and there we go. That gives us that lower surface. So I think we're pretty good with that set of the geometry. Now we could go here back to this plane for front profile. Let's begin a sketch here, and then let's go to our line command. We'll create a line here that starts here at this upper corner, and that's going to come over to a distance of 14. And then we'll create another line down here at this corner, and that is going to come up to a height of 10. And I think we'll take both of those lines and make them both for construction. So we'll take this line here for construction, because we don't want those, right? We don't want those to be part of the feature necessarily. Let's press Control 1 to get to our front view here. And then we'll begin another line here. This will start at this point, come down like so, single click, move away, move back, move over again. And then we'll type in our radius here, 12, enter. And then we can single click here and then move over like so. And looks like it's not going to let me get horizontal and tangent, so I'll just take tangent. And we'll hit escape here, click on this line, make this horizontal, and then we can take this point and drag it down to here. So that should give us the geometry for our front profile. So we'll call this something like geometry for front profile, or sketch for front profile. And so now for the rear profile, how can we get that rear profile? Well, probably the most common way that most beginner SolidWorks users would do this is they would pick this sketch, they would hold control, pick this plane, let go of control, and then insert derived sketch, because derived sketch is going to make an exact copy of that original sketch, but it's still kind of free to float around. Remember, this is what we call that quantum entanglement in the derived sketch video. So let's take this curve here and hold control, pick this point, let go of control, and we'll make that a pierce. And then we can take this line here, because now the only thing that's left to lock down is the angle. So we'll take this line here, hold control, this line here, we'll make those parallel, and boom, that sketch is nice and fully defined, fully constrained. That's exactly what we want. So now we can exit that sketch, and then we could take those two sketches, and of course we could boundary surface them together. So here we go, boundary surface, and we're gonna boundary surface from here to here. And we're gonna say we don't wanna merge the tangent faces because we wanna maintain that fillet down there in the corner. Look at that beautiful boundary surface. That looks great. In fact, we love boundary surface. Let's keep using it, right? Boundary surface, we'll go from this edge to this edge, fill out that top area, enter. I'll press enter again to launch boundary again. I'm just gonna boundary everything. This edge here to this edge here, enter to finish that command. Oh yeah, that is looking good. Now, one little trick that I like to use when it comes to working with our surface geometry is to do a fill surface. It's really easy if you do a fill surface by doing a right mouse button here and saying select open loop. But right now that open loop is the faces of this surface body, because you can see I've got a total of 5 surface bodies here. So what I like to do is take all these surface bodies and knit them together. So knit them all together. So now I've got one surface body, and then I can right mouse button here and say select open loop, and then boom, it gets all of that geometry. So now I could just jump into a fill surface and just fill in from that open loop. It just saves you having to go around and one at a time, like pick this edge, pick this edge, pick this edge, all those extra edges. If you knit everything first, then you can just real easily right mouse button and select open loop. And you might be saying, well, what's the difference between a fill surface and a planar surface in this configuration? And the answer is you could really use either, right? We could just do this as planar surface as well. And so that's looking pretty good. Now, I mean, at this point, we could run another knit surface command. Another knit surface command might be helpful for us to, it looks like we're kind of losing some of this geometry. Let me add some of this stuff to a folder here so you guys can see what's going on at the bottom. So we could do another knit surface here, and we could knit these guys together, of course, and I think that's gonna look pretty good. But now we're gonna run into a challenge, which is how do we round off the front of this model? Because the front of this model has kind of a rounded off nose. So how do we round off the front of that model? And I think probably the most efficient way to do that would be go to the top plane, begin a sketch, orient our view, and then create a 3-point arc or a center point arc, either one, 3-point or a center point arc. So it's gonna go from here to here, and then we're gonna say this is gonna be pick one, hold control, pick the other tangent, pick one, hold control, pick the other tangent, and pick one, hold control, pick the other tangent. Because of course now we could take that geometry and we could do a surfaces extrude, and then once we have that new extruded surface there, surface extrude. Once we have that new extruded surface there, we could launch a trim command, and the trim would be able to use the mutual trim. So we'll do this as a mutual trim here, standard trim, mutual trim, and we're going to be mutual trimming using these two surfaces to do the trimming. And then we're going to say we want to get rid of this upper section of the arc and then this front nose section of the model, and we hit the green check mark, and oh yeah, that is looking fantastic. I am loving this. And so now the only thing that's really left to do is just to do a thicken. So we got to do a thicken here, and the thicken parameter is going to be this body here. And this is kind of cool. If you watch over here in the property manager, currently there's no option to thicken to solid, but as soon as I click on this part, I can say thicken to solid. I can say take that whole nice watertight vessel and I can thicken that in and make it all one solid. So, oh yeah, that looks good. Now look at that. Now that whole thing is solid. That's what we want. And then, of course, we have to put the hole. There's a hole running through this part. We have to put the hole through this part. So what we would probably do is go top plane, begin a sketch, orient our view, S key, circle, wake up the center point here, single click, draw in the size of that hole. Now, this hole is going to be a clearance hole. It's called out as a diameter 35, but it's going to be a clearance hole for a 34 millimeter pipe that's passing through, or a rod that's passing through. So let's extrude that. Let's say that's going to be mid-plane, and we'll extrude that up like so we can kind of visualize what that rod is going to look like as it's passing through there. And let's say don't merge the results. So now you see that we've got this part, the original part here, and then we've got this rod that's passing through, which has a diameter of 34 to pass through a 35 millimeter hole. And then we could maybe put in a little fillet on here. Let's say you put a 1 millimeter, or maybe we'll make it like a 3 millimeter fillet here on that rod. And so now what tool are we going to use to punch that hole through that part? You know, pretty obvious, right? Pretty obvious to everybody who's watching. We're going to go to the command, insert, features, indent. And the indent command, in case you guys are not familiar, it's a pretty powerful little tool. I can click here on this body here. The target body is this yellow part, and then the tool region could be this part here. And I can say I want to implement a 2 millimeter wall thickness, and I want there to be a 0.5 millimeter per side clearance where that 2 millimeter wall thickness is being applied. And basically I take this lower body and I just push it through that upper part there. And so if we look at this thing in a section view, you can see what that ends up looking like. So you can see that we were able to take that tooling body, or the tooling body, and push it right through that target body and give ourselves a nice 2 millimeter wall thickness wherever that part is pushing through. That's pretty handy, especially when this geometry is unique, is unusual. So we can definitely push it through like that and give it a 0.5 millimeter per side clearance. However, in the definition of that indent, let me right mouse button on that indent and say edit feature. We also have the option to just do this as a cut. And so that's the option that we're going to use. We're going to say give us a 0.5 millimeter clearance. So that way we take our 34 millimeter diameter hole, or rod, 34 millimeter diameter rod, and then we give it a 0.5 millimeter clearance so that when we click on this face here, we can see that that now has the 35 millimeter hole, which is what's being spec'd out in that drawing. And so now the only thing that's left to do is to go up here in the tree, click on that indent, on that fillet one body, the gray, the rod body. You press delete on your keyboard. So you'll notice here that if I press delete on my keyboard, when I go up here and I click on this, a new feature gets added at the bottom of the tree for delete keep bodies. So I click here, I press delete on my keyboard, delete keep bodies. I'm going to delete that body. So now a new feature was added down here at the bottom of the tree. And so that should pretty much do it for that model. And it looks like if I look at my sensor here, press Control Q, I'm coming up with an answer of 601.92. We're going to call that 602 grams and enter. And let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation and see if we got it correct. And oh yeah, we did it, guys. We got it correct. And so I hope that you enjoyed that tutorial on what I think is probably the most efficient way to model geometry like this using SolidWorks. A great beginner's tutorial for anybody who's just getting into the world of SolidWorks. That's definitely the steps that you would want to go through to model up a part like this. And if you enjoyed that tutorial, be sure to hit the like button on this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and be sure to come back for more of these tutorials. All right, and just looking back through it at the chat here, what's the difference between the cut option and the remove selections option? Let me see here what we are what feature we're looking at for that. Was that the indent feature? Let's see here. So okay, so the keep selections, remove selections option really harkens back to the idea of surfacing. So when you're doing surfacing, if you create geometry that you're going to be using to do the cutting of a surface. So let's say we have a piece of geometry like this, and we could do this with a sketch, but let's just do it with a surface just to kind of keep kind of a one-to-one scenario here. So we create this surface here, and now we're going to perform a trim surfaces command. So we say trim surfaces, and then this is going to be a standard trim where this is our trim tool. When we go here to keep selection or remove selection, what we're saying is, if I click on this, do I want this to be deleted, or do I want it to be left behind based on what I click on? So if I click here, this will be removed, this will be removed, and this will be removed. And then I hit the green check mark, and there you see that was what was removed. Now let me Control Z to undo the trim. And now I'm going to do a trim surface again. So I'm going to say this is my trim tool. And now this time I'm going to say keep selections. And now I'm going to pick this. This is going to be kept. This is going to be kept. And this is going to be kept. And then I hit the green check mark. And there you see that's what I'm left with. So keep selections, remove selections. The only reason that option really exists is just to make it a little easier for you to decide what you want to keep or remove, because sometimes those surfaces are like buried behind the model, and it's easier to just say, you know, I want to remove this or I want to keep this. Like it might be easier to just say, look, I just want to keep this and this, or actually that's not being trimmed by that surface. I just want to keep this, this, and this. It's easier for me to pick that than it is to pick this. Or I just want to remove this, this, and this. It's easier to pick it. So that's why you have that option. Now, when it comes to indent, it works a little bit differently because it has to do more with like, I think it has to do with the direction of pull, because when you do an indent, you know, similar to a trim, you do specify what's being indented based on where you pick. So when it says here tool body to remove, see, there's what the preview looks like. Well, let me clear that, and then let me pick down here, and see now it's indenting down here. So very similar to the trim command, the indent is kind of like splitting the model, and then wherever you click is where the geometry is being selected. So if I make that same selection, but this time I say remove selections, now you see it's picking up here. So I picked down here on this lower half, but it chose to keep what was up here. Where if I clear that and I say keep selections, I pick down here on the lower half, now you see it's adding the indent down here. So it's kind of that same idea of like, which side do you want to pick on? And that's usually based on what's easier to pick. But in the case of indent, it's just which side is the actual indent going to get added to. So that's the difference between keep selection, remove selection, and then cut just means that instead of indenting through, you're just straight up creating a clearance, but you're not adding material or anything. You're just making a clearance. But that's still really useful because it's very similar to like doing a Boolean subtract. If you've got a rod passing through a plate and you need to add some clearance to it, it's pretty easy to do that using indent, and you can do it with some additional offset, which is pretty nice too. Great question. I think we need to have a 90-minute indent live stream where all we do is talk about indent and make all of our models using indent. All right, guys, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one. Appreciate the comments in the chat. A little bit unorthodox, Metab says. I love this unorthodox style of modeling. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. A little unorthodox. Probably not how I would actually do this one. Probably would do this a little bit differently if I was trying to be efficient. All right, guys, let's take a look and see what the answer is to our second challenge. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share and reshare. Tell a coworker about Model Monday Live. Tell a coworker about the TooTallToby YouTube channel. And let them know what we're doing over here. And don't forget to sign up for some training. We do have some sheet metal training coming up February 25th, 26th, 27th. I think the World Conference is taking place then. So if you're going to the World Conference, I'm sorry, we are going to miss you in the training class. But if you're not going, maybe it'll be quiet that week for you. All right. What is the answer to this one? Probably a good answer for this one, right? Let's roll back here a little bit. What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? Aaron C coming in with the answer 3.15 Rambros 3.15, Otse 3.15, Robin 3.11, Metab 3.15, Jocko 3.15, Dom Linder 3.15, Gray 3.15, Victor K 3.15, Noob King 3.19, Ishmael 3.15. Robin says, F me, my density is wrong. Noob King 3.15, Robin revising 3.15, Kim 3.15, Perigene 3.15. And let's see what else. PC Arduino 3.15, Jim U 3.15. Very nice. Aaron's enjoying my modeling there. Surface, boundary surface, of course. Yep, we got a model with boundary surface. Wind Farms 3.15, FPV Kev 3.15. This was, by the way, guys, that modeling example was because during the CAD vs. CAD high school tournament, I remember Aaron had said a comment like that. Like, I would probably just do this all with boundary surfaces. And I was like, oh, I wonder if we could do that all with boundary surfaces. So that's what we ended up with. All right. And did we get everybody? I hope we got everybody. The correct answer is 3.15 pounds. So congratulations to Aaron C. The clean sweep today. Well done, my friend. 3.15 is correct. Aaron C. earns 2 points. But guys, anybody who is able to get through these challenges in that limited amount of time is very impressive. These are not easy challenges. And it's certainly not easy to do them in the limited amount of time that we have together. So congratulations to the winner, but really congratulations to everybody who tried these challenges, everybody who got them. And of course, I want to say thank you so much to the chat. So good seeing all of you in here again today. A lot of fun hanging out together. A great way to really start the week. It is such a fun way to start the week. Don't forget, if you want to join the party, you can sign up for Practice Models Premium. That is a great way to help support the channel and keep things going. You can join the YouTube channel. You can take training with Toby, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And next week, February 10th, we're going to be back for some more Model Monday Live. Between now and then, you can sign up for that training class, and of course you can take a look at the Practice Models app. There is a free offering. There's about 20 models in there that are free for everybody, and then of course you can sign up for the premium offering. Roman in the chat says, Toby, how long you work with Onshape? I started using Onshape probably like 2 years ago, and have been loving every minute of it. I'm definitely a convert from SolidWorks to Onshape. I'm definitely using Onshape way more than I'm using SolidWorks these days, and just really enjoying everything that I see about Onshape. But, still got some of my SolidWorks chops too, and still happy to teach SolidWorks classes and work with SolidWorks users. Just like for me, my journey definitely is taking me in that direction into the wonderful world of Onshape. All right, guys, have a good week to everyone. It's such a fun way to start the week here in Model Monday Live with all of you. So thank you all so much for being a part of this. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Be sure to jump onto the Discord. There's lots of great activity and discussion in there. And I will look forward to seeing everybody in the next Model Monday Live. See you, everybody. Have a great week.